Right away, you can see the excitement being around. Look at Gus. Gus is really having trouble here. He's not listening. Toto's a female. See how she's like, no, you're not mounting me. You know, this is difficult at first when you start doing this with the dogs. But if you don't start doing it, they're never going to pick it up.
Sit. We're working on honoring. Honoring is working two dogs at the same time, but one dog has to wait while the other dog is doing the retrieve. It's very important that all dogs learn how to do this and function around other dogs. This would be a perfect example of a dog that if you took it to the dog run, would get in a fight. Definitely. A gregarious male dog can definitely get in a fight. She might have a tendency to be more submissive, but it's a red heeler. She might fight too. Toto, get up there. Up. Gus. Gus. Heel. No, Gus. No, Toto. It doesn't always go well. This is hard for the dogs to learn. Now, one thing that's real important about this is that if you see the setup, you see the setup. No, get up there. You see the setup. It's going to be easier for Gus to do. We had sessions yesterday. Both dogs sort of get the basics of it, but there's much more training to be done to get them to honor properly. Now, with the Caine here, it makes it easier for Gus, right? So it's going to be harder for Toto because he's sort of blocked. He can't see the whole retrieve. So it's going to be less excitement because that visual excitement can cause problems. No, sit. For the dog. So one other thing. Yesterday I was using my Caine. Today I'm using like a tomato steak. And if one of the dogs starts coming off the place target, I might block them with this, or direct them with this, like you would. No, Gus, like you would with a healing stick. You don't hit the dog with this. You can bump it into the dog, but you can't hit them. Don't hit them. You would use it like a healing stick. In other words, like that. That's fine. If you come down on a dog with any object, it could be a cardboard wrapping paper tube that's hollow that won't hurt the dog. It will hurt the dog because it'll make them hand shy. It'll make them start wincing. You don't roll up a towel and hit them with that. Either that bonking will screw up a dog. I could be using a healing stick, but I don't have a healing stick handy, so I'm using this. So if you're trying this at home, you could use something like this, but don't hit the dog. Do you understand? This doesn't hurt, right? That doesn't hurt. Use some common sense. So when we're doing this exercise, most of the time I'm just using the dog's name. That's it. And I'm using signals. I'm using body gestures to get the dog to do the right thing. So let's get the dogs going. Toto, get up there, Totes. Sit. Sit. She got up her mark, so it's Gus's turn. Gus.
Okay, watch Gus try and make
Gus.
eye contact.
Gus,
She's
come
trying to
on.
make eye contact and he's trying to challenge Toto. That's what you're going to have to deal with.
Now put it in all the way.
If you're going to teach your dogs to honor, there's going to be a lot of this. There's going to be challenging behaviors. Look at Toto trying to make eye contact with him. She's trying to do the same shit.
Bullseye. Heel.
That's what's going on. You have to teach the dogs that no, there's this challenging behavior, all this eye contact. It's not going to get you to play the game, that's for sure. It's an undesirable behavior. We don't want it.
No, heel.
They don't need to be doing this.
Put it in there.
We're doing something right now. Now Gus is performing pretty good. See, he's doing a reverse retrieve and a retrieve. He's putting the object in that receptacle. He went back where he was supposed to do. Now it's going to be Toto's turn.
Toto.
And
Toto, hold.
she's going, and she's not going off doing something. I don't know what she's doing, but see, watch Gus. See, he's like, oh, look, it's time to fuck around. Toto's fucking around, so I get Toto back at heel, send her on her way. Do the retrieve, Totes. But you had to watch them at first. Man, I do this for a living, so you might, if you're gonna try this, you might have a leash on the dogs. Might be a good idea. I could do that too. I might have a leash on the dogs, but I don't. Now, see what he did, and see I'm gonna I'm gonna corral him back using the stick. Notice I'm not hitting him with the stick. It's an extension of my arm. It makes you look bigger. That's exactly what it does to the dog. It makes the human look like they have a longer arm. That's it. We're not smacking the dog. We're just you can just bump the dog and remind him, look, I got a real long arm now. Don't hit a dog. That's not how a healing stick is used or anything like this. See, see, Gus is screwing up.
No.
So I'm gonna corral him back on the thing. I'm gonna make sure that he doesn't get to make nose contact or nose-butt contact with Toto. He's not going to get any positive reinforcement. He's not going to be able to play the game unless he does it right. Toto went back to her target. Toto's off her target. It's okay. See, this is expected. We've only, done this a little bit. We did this yesterday, and now we're doing it today. So there's a little confusion. There hasn't been enough conditioning. Those are two puppies. They're both puppies. And, we're not worrying about it too much. We just need to see they're going in the right direction. Gus is going on the retrieve. They start picking this up. Is it difficult? Yeah, you betcha. Notice how he comes to heel? Now he's going to take it back to the receptacle and drop it in. It is difficult. Dog training is not easy. You see me doing this, people see me doing this, and they think, oh, yeah, this is a piece of cake. I guarantee you, anybody other than somebody I've worked with, you get them back there and ask them to do this with the dogs. The dogs aren't going to do anything. They're not going to even be able to get the dogs up on the target. Now, I'm starting to move the dogs around from target to target. I'm making it more difficult. Notice how I'm using the stick to block Totes, and then I'm going to use the stick again for direction and to block Gus from getting momentum over there. It's not easy, trust me. I've been doing it for so long, it looks easy. It's not. It isn't. If you get your dog trained, you need to do the required amount of lessons. Just because you watch videos doesn't mean you're going to be able to do this. You're not. You're not going to be able to do it. You have to do a minimum of 3 lessons, and 4 would be preferred. Okay? So, yeah, it looks like the dogs are performing real good. Man, I'm on my toes here. I'm watching both dogs. I'm used to using the tools that are in my hand. I've done this so much. It's not that simple. I'm keeping an eye on both dogs. I'm monitoring their excitement levels. I'm monitoring, in Toto's case, her sort of refusal. I'm just going to run around here and sniff for a little bit. She's bullshitting me. Toto's a dog that, really, sit perfect sit. Look at that girl. At times, she really is going to test. And that would be true of most dogs. They're going to, if you think about, a dog, a wild...
No, man, I didn't say to do a thing.
Think about dogs in the wild, okay? And they're always going to be looking at the lead dog to make sure that they're in control. That's what the domestic dog does when it looks at you. It's difficult for the dogs. Sit. It is. It's difficult for any dogs to do this. But it's imperative that the dog learns to function in this excited state and that they need to be under control. We have 4 million dying every year. When I'm talking about the dog in charge, I hate using that term like alpha dog. It's so sounds like Cesar Millan BS. But there's always some kind of dog that's in charge. It's flattering that the dogs invite us in this way, but it causes problems for the dog. They're living in a human world. If they're not compliant, they get in trouble. We got 4 million dying every year. 4 million. This is nonsense. People get dogs. Oh, it's cute. That's enough. Right? They think dogs, it's all about love. Somebody was saying it earlier. We love the dogs. They can't love us back. Give me a break. They don't have love. It's a dog. They have something. I'm not saying that they don't have something. But it's you know, it's about survival, and it's about, you know, the instinct to protect their young. It's that. It's not love. Love is a complex human emotion. It's a real problem. It's a real problem. And then you have like idiots that are feeding the fire of like, oh yeah, it's just a morphed little dog. That's the way people think. These food trainers, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. This positive reinforcement BS. Yes, you have to use positive reinforcement with the dog. Absolutely. You tell them, but you have to tell them when they're screwing up too. Like Totes here. Totes, if I wasn't telling her when she was screwing up, she'd just run with it and she'd be screwing up all the time. She'd be a fucking wreck. So would Gus. Now see what I'm saying? Gus is behind the barrel. That's sort of like has him boxed in a little bit more. Now I say no to Gus, but see the way she stopped? That's good. So I tell her to continue doing the reverse retrieve. She's great. She's awesome. What an awesome little freak. Dogs get a raw deal. They get a raw deal in our world. I told her to sit, and now I'm gonna try and move Gus over here. There might be a little problem with this, but maybe not. Let's see how Totes does. No, it's Gus. See, this is difficult stuff, but they're doing it. They're doing it. Little hesitation, but Toto follows through.
Gus, hold. No.
You can't expect it to go well. That's the point that I'm trying to make. In 4 days, there won't be any mistakes.
Hold.
But without you doing the first lesson that's difficult,
Heel. Come on.
you're never going to get anywhere.
No.
If it's as difficult, like here, Toto made a mistake. See how I'm backing her up using the healing stick? Okay, so I'm going to make Gus finish the retrieve. No, put it in there, Gus. Drops it in. Get back at heel. Toto's being a little bit rambunctious, trying to go to the other target. So I'm going to send Gus back to get the retrieve. Bring him back. They all pick it up. So for each one of them, like Gus is mostly sat on the one behind the burn can. So this is sort of tougher for Toto right now. But I'm trying to switch them up so they start understanding. It doesn't matter where I tell you to sit. Just sit down and do what you're told, dog. That's it. So at times, throughout this, like if a dog's down there, I might, move the other dog to the other target. Just do what you're told. That's the way you make a healthy, happy dog, is if the dog is looking at the human for direction. If a dog is making decisions, they're all bad. You know why? Because they're instinctual. All that instinctual stuff for dogs is terrible. It is. They bark, lunge, and then they bite. It's terrible stuff. Your dog that lives among humans should be functioning in conditioned commands. That's it. That's it. You should heavily condition the dog, and you should keep training the dog with the commands that it knows its entire life. And if you're a decent owner, you'll probably teach the dog to do other things. There's a little bit of confusion here. It's not a problem. Both these dogs are functioning. Like the second day of doing this, I'm totally happy with them. This is good, man. This is as good as like you could expect out of any other dogs that we're learning honoring. It's not simple. Now it's like when I'm releasing them, I'm using their names, and I'm not saying hold, because if you say something like that during the other dog will move. So you have to train yourself too. So I'm just using the dog's names and gestures pretty much. That's it. If you start saying, think about it this way. The dog's name is used to release the dog for a reason. If there were two Totos, it would just confuse the dog. Do you understand? So you couldn't say like, hold, and there's two dogs there. They're both going to go and try and, go after the retrieve. You never have two dogs go after the same retrieve. If that happens, you need to at least stop one of them. That's the way to start a fight. That's going to be a challenge. That's the way you start dogs fighting. By the way, keep your dogs out of the dog run. That is a terrible place to take any dog. You start taking your puppy there, by the time it's 8 months old, it's getting in fights and it likes fighting. It's terrible for a dog.
This is the second day of this. I consider that very successful. No, Toto, sit! Both dogs made mistakes. That's how a dog learns, is by making a mistake. No, sit!
they have to make a mistake to learn, and you have to use timing and the proper no. No needs to be conditioned in. No is what we tell the dog when it's in the wrong position. That's what we use. And, you know, good or good boy or yes is you're in the right position. Don't be unrealistic. Don't be unrealistic. And one other thing about the name of your dog is meaningless. They don't Toto doesn't understand her name is Toto, either does Gus. Toto is used to give direction to the dog. That's what we use to get the dog's attention. Toto, Gus. Or it's on your veterinary, you know, at your vet's office. But Toto doesn't understand anything about her name. Sit! Sit! Dogs don't have birthday parties. No. Sit. No, sit. Dogs don't have birthday parties. So everybody needs to stop being unrealistic about their dog. No. Get up there, sit. It's hard work. You don't get dogs to just do this. You just don't bring them out and expect them to do this. And the first time you do a session on honoring, it's not going to go good. Yesterday was tough. Today was easier. Plan on the first day going pretty bad. Put leashes on both dogs. That can help. If you have both dogs that are e-collar conditioned, that could help too. But plan on the first session not going real smooth, and it gets smoother and smoother. Another 3-4 days, there will be no mistakes. Both dogs will know that, you know, until I give them the proper cue, that it's their turn to, you know, do the retrieve. They won't move. Gus, what are you doing, dude? It's so important that your dog learns to honor. And it's so important that you understand we release the dog on retrieves with their name for this reason. If there were two Totos here, both dogs would be confused. If I say no, sit. If I say heel, both dogs will heel. Do you understand? So if I send both dogs on the retrieve, if I say, you know, hold and commanding the both, they're not going to get it. They're just going to go for it. That's why you have to do this. You have to teach honoring, and you have to release them with their name. You guys did good. Toto, heel. Gus, heel. No, heel. Come on, let's go, dude. Toto, Gus, sit.